So, the topic for today is the art of someone you can never have, and it is written by PROSNKONS. So, here it goes. It hurts to write this, perhaps because every word carries a part of me that I have never truly let go of. Maybe that's why I wanted to turn this into art, not to romanticize the pain, but to give a voice to the kind of longing that quietly lives inside people who loved someone they could never have. Not because the timing was wrong, not because either of you were the wrong person, but because from the very beginning you were never meant to belong to each other. I know this feeling too well. Every sentence I write is stitched together by experiences I wish I never had, yet somehow cannot regret. So I will write this without softening the truth, without hiding behind pretty words, and without pretending it didn't change me. Because some stories deserve honesty more than they deserve happy endings. The art of someone you can never have is different from every other kind of heartbreak. Sometimes there is a relationship to grieve. There are memories that refuse to fade, conversations that still replay in your mind, and I love you that were once spoken with complete sincerity. There were moments that felt like forever, promises that sounded like home, and dreams we both believed in. That's what makes this kind of goodbye so difficult, not because the love wasn't real, but because it was. We loved each other. Perhaps we just weren't written to keep each other. I used to believe that love was enough, that if two people cared deeply enough, the universe would eventually find a way to make them stay. But life has a quiet way of teaching us otherwise. Sometimes love and forever are not the same thing. There are people who enter your life only to show you what your heart is capable of feeling. They make ordinary days unforgettable, ordinary conversations feel like poetry, and ordinary moments become the ones you revisit years later. They become part of the way you understand love, even if they are never meant to play a part of your life that you eventually build. That realization is difficult to accept because letting go isn't only about letting go of a person, it's letting go of the future you had already imagined with them, the birthdays you pictured celebrating together, the places you promised to visit, the version of yourself that only ever existed inside your dreams. And sometimes the person you wanted forever becomes the lesson you carry forever. People often ask what heartbreak feels like. To me, it isn't always loud. Sometimes it's incredibly quiet. It's hearing a song that suddenly reminds you of them. It's smiling at the old memory before realizing it belongs to another version of your life. It's looking at someone you once called home and understanding that home can become a place you no longer live. And somehow, life keeps moving. The strange thing about this kind of love is that there is no villain. No one has to betray anyone. No one has to stop loving first. Sometimes, two people can love each other with everything they have and still discover that they are walking towards different futures. Love doesn't always fail because it wasn't enough. Sometimes it ends because life asks different things from different people. Not every love story ends because someone stopped loving. Someone stopped loving. Some end because love isn't the only thing that decides where we belong. For a long time, I questioned every memories. I wondered if I could have loved better, waited longer, spoken differently, become more. But healing taught me a difficult truth that you cannot become the right person for someone by becoming less of yourself. You cannot force destiny by loving harder. There is a quite kind of courage in accepting that someone can mean everything to you and still not become your forever. Accepting that what you shared was real, even if it wasn't permanent. Accepting that beautiful chapter doesn't have to become the whole book to have mattered. Some people don't stay for the rest of your life. They stay long enough to change it. And if I'm being honest, there are still days when I miss the future. I imagine for us more than the past we actually had. I miss the conversation we never got to have, the years we never reached, and the life we never lived. But I've learned that missing something doesn't mean I should keep chasing it. Sometimes missing someone is simply another way of honoring what they once meant. So, this is not a story about regret. This is a story about gratitude. Gratitude for a love that taught me how deeply I could feel. Gratitude for a chapter that made me who I am. Gratitude for someone who, even without staying forever, left my life more meaningful than they found it. Maybe that's the true art of someone you can never have. Not spending your life wishing they had stayed, but carrying love with gentleness instead of resentment. Allowing it to become part of you without allowing it to keep you from becoming who you are meant to be. Because some people are not meant to be ours forever. They are meant to remind us that love can be real, beautiful, life changing, and still teach us how to let go. We weren't meant to last, but we were meant to matter. And sometimes that's a different kind of forever. And you will always remain my forever almost. But I also think you were never my almost. You were my everything for a while. And maybe that's exactly why letting go feels like something, letting go of the future I had already imagined, already named after us. Thank you.